Pat Robertson, the latest from Pat Robertson. Pat Robertson was asked one of these questions. We always hear these questions. We don't know if they're real. We don't know if they're fake. People email into Pat Robertson. Who in their right mind would ask Pat Robertson for any kind of honest advice? I don't really know. The latest one from Pat Robertson is to answer why we always hear about all these miracles happening in Africa. I didn't know that we did hear that, but I guess if you believe the premise, Pat Robertson says, well, God gives fewer miracles to the too educated Americans who learn stuff like science. I'm not kidding. This is really Pat Robertson's argument here. Take a look at this.
I do amazing miracles like people being raised from the dead, blind eyes opened, lame people walking, happen with great frequency in places like Africa and not here in the United States. What can we do to encourage those things to happen here? Is America too far gone for miracles like this?
Those people overseas didn't go to Ivy League schools.
Not quite that simple.
Well, we're so sophisticated. We think we've got everything figured out. We know about evolution. We know about Darwin. We know about all these things that says God isn't real. We know about all this stuff. And if we've been in many schools, the more advanced schools, we have been inundated with skepticism and secularism. And overseas, they're simple, humble. You tell them God loves them, and they say, okay, he loves me. And you say God will do miracles, and they say, okay, we believe him.
So this is just shocking on so many levels. Number one, Pat Robertson is basically saying, right, that God only does miracles for those uneducated Africans. That's level number one, which is he's kind of being insulting in a way, right? That's level one. But level two is he's kind of making a good point when he talks about Ivy League schools, which is the more educated you are, the less likely you're to fall for this kind of evangelical, televangelist style nonsense that Pat Robertson and his friends are responsible for. So in that sense, he kind of is making a good point.
Right. I mean, you are more likely to believe something that happens by pure coincidence or chance is a miracle,
right,
if you're completely blind to everything that's going on around you.
Yeah, the more educated you are, the less nonsense you're going to accept. The more education you have, the less likely you are to send money to Pat Robertson. That's really what he's saying. Now, I actually, we should tell the audience, we've been trying to get a bogus question on the 700 Club just to see if these are made up questions, if they're real questions, if they have screening. We don't really know. So we've been submitting a number of questions written supposedly by Diego Kesterbaum to the 700 Club. I don't even know what channel it's on, so I have no way of monitoring whether any questions get through, but I invite our audience to submit your own question to the 700 Club under that name, monitor it, and if one of these gets on, I hope that we'll hear about it, and it would really be proof that that at least it's possible that these questions are a goof.
Yeah, definitely.